In this video, I'm going to use PostTrans for Sage 200 to edit locations and bins within locations. PostTrans is a simple Excel add-in which allows us to extract Sage data into an Excel spreadsheet, edit and update it, and in this case it will be bins and warehouses. We can easily create new bins by simply adding a bin name to blank rows in the sheet, or we could use copy and paste to duplicate bins. And we can also delete them if Sage 200 would allow us. Of course, the information could be manually input or it can come from CSV file, and all Sage business rules are applied and validation as it's being imported. This functionality can also allow us to create stock movements between bins very easily and do stock takes, so we can do selective stock takes on our bins within our warehouse. But these two features require our extras module. Okay, so let's see this in action. Well, here I am in Excel. I'm just going to go to my PostTrans toolbar and press the Help button. This gives me access to many examples that come with PostTrans. I'm going to type in here bins, and you can see here we've got many examples. I'm just going to go to the location and bins example, so just double click on that. Now that's going to open my template. So I hope you understand we have a series of tags in row 1 which denote the data in the columns of the template. There's a whole training section on our website underneath the Sage 50 or 200 menu which introduces you to this concept. What we're going to do is we're going to extract some stock items which will include all the bin and the warehouse information. So I'm going to press the extract button. And so that's just connected to Sage 200 for the first time. That connection will be kept open. So what are we seeing here? Okay, well, I've previously used the software, so I have actually selected a few things. And of course, it remembers any of these selections for a particular sheet. So it's all persistent between imports or extracts over, once you close Excel, it does actually remember these settings. So what we're doing here is we're selecting the location to pull our bin information out of. So you can see here I've selected showroom and I've selected warehouse. And then down below, I can nominate to add additional blank lines for all warehouses or for those warehouses which have no bins in them. So if I was shifting from one location to another, I might just want the blank lines for the other location. Now, I guess you're asking, why would you want blank lines anyway? What are you talking about? Okay, so the reason it adds blank lines is so if you want to create a new bin, you've got a line already created for you. You just need to fill in the bin name to create that bin. We'll see this in action in a second. Let's just have a look at the other two tabs. Well, the other two tabs are applying criteria to the stock it's going to pull out. So here you can see we've got stock groups. I've already filled that in, but I just did that simply by entering CO, tabbing away. There's all my stock groups beginning with CO. So I just double click on that to select, and I could have done this by supplier or in a particular location. Or I could do it by my analysis codes. Just simply tick whatever I wish to extract. So let's press overwrite, which basically clears the sheet down and fills it full of the data that match the criteria I've just entered. Now we can see all our cooker hoods here. So what are we actually seeing? Well, the first 4 rows here are relating to this one stock item, and then the following 4 to a second stock item. And then you can see we've got the location specified. So we've got bin 56, it's got 14 in this warehouse, which is actually named warehouse. Its min and its max quantity are set to 23 and 99, a reorder of 20. And then in showroom, we've got W41 as a bin, and it's got nothing in stock at present. It's got no mins and maxes set. So that's the template. Now, so we just extracted cooker hoods there. Let's just play around and just show you a few other features. Because if I type in this search column here, I can actually search for stock items. So I could pull out an extra stock item, and you can see PostTrans has now populated the rest of the relating data to that stock item. So I can pull out a single oven, etc. So there we've now pulled out that information. So you can see there we've got a fair amount of flexibility, but we can take that one step further. Let's just clear that template down. And let's go to the sheet here. I've got some stock codes in here. So let's just select this list. So I could have a whole long list predefined. I'm just going to paste that in to column E. So now when I press the extract button, we'll see PostTrans says, oh, would you like to pull all the stock codes out for column E, the search column? So we're going to click on yes, and that'll then use those defaults we filled in before, i.e. the location, warehouse and showroom. So that's pulled out 9 stock items. So there we can see we've got the first stock item there, and we've got some stock. We've got 3 in stock on bin M1. We can see its reorder and its max values there, and we've got some values in S1. Sorry, we've got a bin in S1 in the showroom. So the second one has got M2 and S2, S3 and S4, etc. going down. Now we can see there that this does not follow through. So we're just going to demonstrate by editing. Oh, hello. Let's just stick to M5. And so that's going to rename that bin to M5 and M6. Now, how does it do that? Well, over on the left hand side here, we can see there's a column. It's marked as ID. Now, these IDs are used by PostTrans to track what stock item it is, what the location is, and what the bin code is. So it uses that to validate any edits. So it can't update anything that it shouldn't do, but that allows us to edit existing data. So that's filled that in. Now I can easily then set a minimum and a maximum value for a particular location. So we can set that to, say, that'd be ridiculous, wouldn't it? Let's set that to 70. And if we remember on the extraction, we had those tick boxes to create blank lines. Well, okay, let's say we want to add 2 extra bins to the location warehouse. So I'm going to call them, I don't know, let's call them M1A. So now that's going to create a bin in that location. Now I do actually need to add an extra one, so I'm just going to type WA, and that's of course the only warehouse begins with WA. And it's now filled in the stock code because it'll be the same stock code. They all need bunching together. So let's call this 1B. So now that's going to create that location, that bin in that location warehouse. So we're going to end up with 3 bins for there. And let's say we're going to add S2B. So we're going to create one in showroom. Now further down here you can see there's no bin in this showroom. So maybe I would want to call that S5. I don't know, A, to create that showroom bin. And of course I may want to go down, maybe I actually want to set a minimum and a maximum for my showroom as well. Okay, I think that's enough. Let's press the import, and you'll see PostTrans whiz down the spreadsheet. It's just telling me here what it's about to do. So it'll whiz down the spreadsheet, and it's written 5 new records and updated 5. So if we scroll back up, we can see there it updated this one. It updated the warehouse information because all we did actually was edit this portion of the data. This was a new bin, I believe. This was would be a new warehouse and a bin, etc. So it went down there updating whatever. So let's just look at that in Sage 200. Let's just go back to Sage 200. There's my ceramic hob. Let's just open the stock record. And let's move that stock record so it's adjacent to the spreadsheet. There we go. So what have we updated? Okay, well, let's look on here. We updated the 50, 150 and the reorder across here, and we can see that represented on the right here. If I click on warehouse, we can now see we've got M1 and we've got M1A and B created. I don't think we did anything in the showroom there. On the second item down, I don't know whether we can we find double oven? No. Let's just go back to Sage, and we want the double oven, this one here. And we created 2 stock items in that showroom location. So we can see here that we quickly created bins within that location. Of course, if I then extracted those codes again, you'd expect to see the same values pulled out of Sage 200. So let's just do that. Just answer yes, I do want the same list. And now we can see, there we go, there's the locations, etc. Quite easily seen. Now, of course, we can actually delete redundant bins. So if there's no stock in place, I can actually mark certain items as being deleted. Now, Sage 200 imposes a rule that it can't delete the last bin within a location, so you'd probably have to rename that to something do not use or something, some kind of coding like that. Well, let's just import that just to prove it does delete. Just go OK there. Now it's just highlighting the first item and it's asking me for confirmation before it deletes that item. So let's press yes, and 2 items have been deleted, and that will actually then remove them from the spreadsheet. But again, let's do another extraction, and just to prove that they have gone. And yeah, there we go. So now we've only got bin location S1. If you're watching this video from YouTube, to go to our website, simply click on the link in the description below. If you're already on our website, you can scroll down slightly, and below this video you'll probably see some related links to associated articles. Let's just show you some of the resources on the website. Switch over, here's the home page. You can see here we have a series of menus at the top, and if you allow them to expand, you can see there all the different types of importation or extraction you can use with PostTrans and Sage, and also the transactions you can post. But importantly, there's a training section here. If we go to the training section, that describes in detail how to alter a PostTrans template using the tags that we briefly discussed in the demonstration. Also on the website is a blog which you can subscribe to, and I thoroughly recommend that, so then you can learn of new functionality and uses of PostTrans, because each of these articles maybe hones in on a particular function, a particular tag, or a particular way of using the product to do a particular job. For instance, expanding bill of materials on an order, code searching, protecting templates, importing CSV files, pricing, managing VAT, order currency, you name it, it's all in there. And that is easily accessible from the software itself. So if I switch back to a template, and this one's an order template, and I've just got the tag window open here on the right, but you'll see as I scroll down, this one here, TL description, which is the actual product description, actually has a blog article. So clicking on there takes me to that blog article and explains in great detail the implications of using that tag and the many different options, maybe in system setups, alters and behavior of that tag. So hopefully that will help. Also, we have the help button itself on the button bar, which takes you to kind of a context sensitive help, and also takes you to the training page, which explains how to manipulate and alter that template. And in addition to all that, of course, we have these blue help buttons here, which are easily accessible. They're also in the setup windows within PostTrans. So again, that takes you to a blog article. For instance, this one's about making the cursor follow a certain path. That will then take you to that article and explain how you customize that individual functionality. So there, I hope you've seen many different functions and online resources that we provided you to enable you to customize PostTrans to create a template to help you or your customers. So I thank you very much for watching this video.